The sound of a breaking life. Sound. Heavy rain against a window. The distant, rhythmic ticking of a wall clock. The sound of hot tea being poured into a ceramic mug. Narrator, female, calm but with a slight tremble. They say intuition is a whisper from the soul. For 10 years, I lived in a house built on a foundation of trust. Or so I thought. But looking back, the signs weren't written in bold letters. They were hidden in the silences. In the way the air changed when he walked into the room. Have you ever felt your life becoming a stage play, where everyone knows the script except you? My story didn't start with a lipstick stain or a late-night phone call. It started with a smell. Not perfume, but the cold, clinical scent of a lie. Part 1. The Golden Cage. Sound. Soft, nostalgic piano music begins in the background. Narrator. My husband, Mark, was what our friends called the gold standard. He was an architect, brilliant, focused, and seemingly devoted. For a decade, our life was a series of perfect snapshots. Every Friday, he brought home white lilies. Every morning, he'd kiss my forehead before leaving for the office. We were planning our 10th anniversary trip to the Swiss Alps. We were looking at brochures, talking about the future. But then, the shifts began. Small ones. Mark started staying late at the firm. Deadlines, honey, he'd say, his voice wary. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? But one night, around 2 a.m., the silence of our bedroom was pierced by a vibration. A single buzz from his nightstand. Mark was fast asleep. I didn't want to be that wife, but the light of the screen was blinding in the dark. I reached over just to flip it face down. The notification said, "Are you asleep? No name, just a number." My heart did a strange, painful somersault. Part 2. The Digital Ghost. Sound. The music shifts, lower notes, more tension, a slight rhythmic pulse. Narrator. The next morning, I watched him. It's amazing how much you see when you stop trusting. I noticed how he never left his phone on the table anymore. How he took it into the bathroom, even just to brush his teeth. A week later, I found the courage. He was in the shower. I took his phone. The passcode was our wedding date. The irony felt like a physical blow to my stomach. I opened his messages. There was nothing from that number. He was deleting everything. But he forgot one place. The recently deleted folder in his photos. There was a screenshot of a hotel reservation. Room 402. For this coming Saturday. That was the day he told me he had to go to a mandatory site visit, 3 hours away. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the phone. Part 3. Following the shadow. Sound. Sound of a car engine starting. The rhythmic thump-thump of windshield wipers. Narrator. Saturday came. He kissed me goodbye, smelling of his usual expensive cologne. I'll be back by dinner, Sarah. I love you. I waited 5 minutes, then I got into my car. I followed him, keeping 3 cars between us. He didn't drive to the construction site. He drove to a boutique hotel in the historic district, a place we used to go when we were first dating. I parked across the street, my breath fogging up the glass. I watched him walk to the entrance. He stopped at a flower shop on the corner and bought a bouquet of white lilies. My flowers. An hour passed. Then 2. I sat there in the cold, feeling my world turn to ash. And then, the lobby doors opened. Mark walked out, laughing. Beside him was a woman. She was wearing a coat exactly like mine. Her hair was the same shade of honey blonde. From a distance, she looked like a younger version of me. It wasn't just an affair. It was a replacement. Part 4. The cold confrontation. Sound. The music stops abruptly. Total silence, then the sound of a front door opening and keys jingling. Narrator. I got home before him. I didn't scream. I didn't break the plates. I just sat at the kitchen table in the dark. When he walked in, he was humming. Sarah, why are you sitting in the dark? Honey. His voice was so warm, so full of fake concern. How was the site visit, Mark? I asked. Productive. Tedious, but productive. I missed you. I turned on the lamp. On the table, I had placed the white lilies I bought on my way back, along with a printout of the hotel reservation. He didn't move. He didn't even try to lie. The warmth drained from his face, replaced by a cold, sharp arrogance I'd never seen before. You followed me, he said. Not, I'm sorry, just a cold accusation. That night, I didn't just find out he was cheating. I found out he had been leading a double life for 2 years. He had rented her an apartment that looked like a replica of our living room. He was trying to live 2 identical lives, keeping me as the stable foundation, while he played house with a younger version of our past. He didn't love her. And he didn't love me. He loved the control. Outro. The beauty of silence. Sound. A soft, hopeful, but melancholic cello melody begins. Narrator. The divorce was quiet. I didn't want his money, I wanted my sanity back. He stayed with her for a few months, but without the thrill of the secret, their perfect romance withered. Sometimes, the silence in this house still feels heavy. But it's an honest silence. Betrayal is a strange thing. It breaks you, yes, but in the cracks, you find a strength you didn't know you had. I don't buy lilies anymore. I buy roses now. For myself. Because I've learned that it's better to be alone in the truth than to be loved in a lie.